love stories. Well, hello, I'm Cheri Smith, Blue Heart Music. This is Love Stories, and this is a place where you just might learn a little bit about love while being entertained. Hey, what do you think of my new intro? Just kidding, I'm totally messing with you. I actually saw that on a YouTube video when I was researching and trying to figure out what to do in the background, like how to set this little camera screen area up. And I thought it was rather hilarious. The person, they were like draped over the couch and just speaking in this low, slow voice. And I was like, that's not what I want to do. So welcome to Love Stories for Real this time. And today's topic is getting stood up. So it actually happened to me a couple times, and it was pretty awful. So I hope it has never happened to you. So the first time it happened, I had met this guy at a club, and he seemed quite nice. And he was from Canada, and he was going back to Canada, but he was planning to come back to my area like a couple weeks later. So we're like, sweet, let's meet up and we can go hang out. So he emailed me, and we emailed back and forth. And so, I had the date of when he was coming and where he was staying and the phone number. And that evening, I got all dressed up, ready to go out. And so we didn't have like a time set up. And so I called and I was like, hey, what time do you want to go hang out? But I just got the voicemail for the room. So I was like, okay, hopefully he'll call. And this is actually before everybody had cell phones. Like, it was just when everybody was kind of starting to get cell phones. So I didn't have one. I don't think that he had one either. So I called and left a message, and I was like, oh, he's probably just out for dinner or whatever. And so I get ready, I get all dressed up, and I'm sitting there, I'm ready to go out. And the call never comes. I just sit there. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, maybe I should try calling again. So I called again, and just nothing, no answer. Left another message, and I just sat there and was waiting around. And then, pretty soon it was like 9 or 9:30, which is usually like kind of the time you might be going out to the clubs back in those days, when I went out to the clubs. So I was thinking, I haven't heard back from him yet. I don't think I'm going to hear back from him. And it was quite distressing. It's pretty upsetting to be sitting there all ready to go out, and then you're waiting, and this other person just flakes out or whatever, and you just never hear from them again. So yeah, that was really strange and kind of disappointing. So the second time I got stood up, I was actually kind of in a relationship. I don't know if you could really call it a relationship per se, but it was this guy I'd been dating like on and off for like a year. Just, we'd go out, and then I wouldn't hear from him for a while, and then we'd go out, and it was a really frustrating situation. And probably we kept it going like a year longer than it should have. So this one night we made plans to go have dinner at the beach, and I was like, I thought it'd be super fun. I was really looking forward to it. And so I get the dinner all ready, get this picnic dinner set up and packed up, and then I get all dressed up and ready for the evening out at the beach. This little beach picnic, just say it was like 6 o'clock. We were supposed to go for dinner. So I'm waiting, and it's like 6 o'clock, and then it's 6:05, then 6:10, and I'm like, okay, it's just running a little late. Pretty soon it was 7, and I think at some point I called him and left a message, and then a few hours later, finally he calls me back, and he's like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I didn't go. He just sounded like he was freaking out, and I didn't really know why. So I was like, okay, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe he has something going on that I don't know about. So I just said, okay, well, of course I was upset and really frustrated, but I just wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. So I was like, okay, let's just, reset, rewind. It was too late that night to do our plans, but I said, I still want to do a beach picnic. Let's just make it for next week or whatever, next Saturday or something. I don't remember. So he's like, okay, yeah, that's a good plan. So I'm like, great. Okay. So then it's 1 week later, and so we're supposed to do our little beach picnic dinner. And this time, I'm not feeling super confident that he's going to show up. So I'm like, I think I didn't get dressed up. I think I was just like, I'm just going to go like this. I don't know. I didn't want to bother getting dressed up in case he didn't show up again. And I didn't really get dinner ready this time either. I kind of had a few things that could be ready to go if need be, but I didn't want to prepare this great feast again, just in case. So of course it's 6 o'clock, and then I'm waiting, and he's not showing up, and he's not calling, and finally, either I called him or he called me, I don't remember, but he was like, I don't know what's going on, I just can't do it. I don't know what his deal was. It was really strange. But yeah, so I was just really perplexed and confused. I don't know what was going on. He never really told me. And it was just a really frustrating situation. But yeah, I mean, he was kind of a narcissist too. So there's a lot more stories behind that whole situation, but I would not recommend it. And also, I just kind of felt like it was one of those situations where you'd say, that saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. That's pretty much how it was. I didn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I did. And maybe I'm just a sucker. Maybe I think most people are good. Deep down, I really hope they are. So, yeah, that was hard. That was really disappointing. So what lessons have we learned here? Well, I think, obviously one would be, don't be a jerk. Don't stand people up. It's really mean. It's so thoughtless. And, it's just, if you're having a hard time for whatever your reason, at least now you can maybe send a text. If you can't do that, call or email, or just let them know ahead of time so they're not sitting there waiting for you to show up. It's just really an awful feeling and really upsetting. So you should not do that, okay? Don't be mean. Another lesson that we've learned here is, I guess, just don't be a sucker. If somebody does that to you, just cut them out of your life, unless it's a legitimate emergency or, an accident or something that happened. If they're not going to be thoughtful and kind and nice, you don't want that. You don't want that kind of person in your life. You don't want to be in a relationship with that person for sure. You deserve somebody kind. You deserve somebody that will treat you well. So, that was a big mistake on my part, I think, to give somebody a second chance that didn't even really know why they stood me up in the first place. That if I could go back, and rewind, I probably would not have kept hanging out with that person well before that even happened, because there were a lot of red flags there. But anyway, those are other stories. But in summary, you really deserve somebody that will treat you well. So if somebody is not treating you well and not thoughtful, see ya. Drop it like it's hot. Don't go there. Red flag. Get away. All right, well, that's it for Love Stories today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, guess what? There'll be a new episode almost every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And don't forget to like, subscribe. Please subscribe because I am working toward building my subscribers and I would totally appreciate it if you would subscribe. So please do that for me. I would thank you so kindly. Share with all your friends. But most importantly, I want you to know you are loved. This is Cheri Smith, Blue Heart Music. You've been listening to Love Stories. I will catch you next time. And this is a place where you just might be a little bit entertained. I forgot and I screwed it up. Hang on.